Welcome back. You're watching News Tonight. The Metropolitan Transport Corporation has been periodically increasing its services along several routes in the ever-expanding city. But Nanganallur residents complain of not having enough buses when they are most needed.
Often, commuters have to wait for 45 minutes to get a bus to their locality. During midday, sometimes the wait gets longer, stretching up to 2 hours.
Nanganallur வரதுக்கு டிவி நகர் வண்டி பஸ் ஸ்டாண்டில் 2.5 மணி டைம் காத்துட்டு இருந்தேன். வண்டி வரல. ஒரு பாட்டில் தண்ணி 60 போச்சு, பெரிய பாட்டில். அதுக்குள்ளே மயக்கமாகவும் வர ஆரம்பிச்சுடுச்சு. இப்படி ஒரு கஷ்டம் இருந்தால் நாங்கள் எப்படி வெளியில் போகிறது?
ரொம்ப நேரம் நாங்கள் வெயிட் பண்ணுறோம் 18 சிக்கு.
People say the wait is longer as there are no MTC buses to Nanganallur for longer intervals. They feel that if the MTC plans buses at regular frequency to the thickly populated residential area in South Chennai, it will do them a lot of good.
We have been standing for 2 to 3:30 in the Asarkana bus where we don't have a shed and we are under the hot sun.
MTC, which operates 3,200 buses and handles 55 lakh passengers in Chennai every day, says there are enough buses to Nanganallur. But the residents feel the services are inadequate as they don't find the buses when they are needed. In Chennai, with camera person Devraj and reporter Peer Mohammed, Avinash for Ndtv-Hindu.
Are you looking after your old parents? Are you doing enough for them? Helplines for the elderly are becoming busier by the day, a clear signal that the number of elderly people in need of help, abandoned or cheated by their children are increasing. Zoya Thomas reports.
Arunachalam is a man in his 60s, living all by himself at his home in Manali for 9 years now. In the year 2001, his life changed when he lost his wife and son the same year. While Arunachalam was battling depression, his eldest son, a civil engineer by profession, cheated him by transferring the power of attorney for his house on false promises. Now Arunachalam is fighting a lone battle to get back his property.
I have become old. I have no longer got the capacity to earn. So that if I earn, I will be able to invest in something on my house, my property, and further develop it. Now I lost that chance. So I had faith in my son, eldest son. I gave him power of attorney and he has misused it.
There is a sharp increase in the number of people like Arunachalam who are turning to helplines operated by old age homes and NGOs. For instance, HelpAge India and Dignity Foundation, which have helplines for the elderly, have seen a steady increase in the number of calls they receive.
Earlier, if you look at Dignity Foundation, we used to get maybe daily 2 or 3 calls per day, or sometimes there is no calls also. But the calls, even it is one also, it is very important for us. So we take care of such calls and we reach out for help. But if you look at past 2 months, there is a increase in the number of calls what we are receiving. Nowadays, we get around per day 20 to 30 calls.
If you take a list of the callers who need companionship, it is like most of the callers' children are settled abroad.
Abandoned by children, growing loneliness and a sense of helplessness. The elderly in the city are left with little choice but to seek help from helplines and old age homes. With camera person Madan, Zoya Thomas for Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, for more on that, A.R. Srija, the General Manager of Dignity Foundation, joined us with her experience of working with senior citizens in the city.
See, I would say earlier we were not getting much calls because even the foundation, from the foundation perspective also, there was not much of awareness about this helpline. But if you look at after we have given some awareness about this helpline, the number of calls have increased a lot. In fact, we used to get at least daily 20 to 30 calls per day seeking for various kind of help. So most of the cases which comes under our helpline cases are mostly loneliness, depression. They need some companionship, all that comes. So when we interact with the clients very closely, we find that most of these people coming for looking forward for companionship, the background of them is such that their children are abroad. And they are working abroad or they are working in different states. So they are away from their children and they feel very lonely. Keep in touch with the parents very often, call them every day find out whether they are, they just need one call from their children. But then there is also a lot of organization like us who is there, to solve the loneliness problems, because we have Chai Masti Center, we have a companionship program where these people can come together, and like-minded people will come under one foundation, and they create their own friends. And I think these kind of people should come out and meet a lot of people, interact with them, because if they sit at home, definitely the problem will only aggravate.
Moving on, as demand for grants for the Revenue Department and the Slum Clearance Board was tabled in the Tamil Nadu Assembly today, members of the Unorganized Workers Federation protested against the government to stop closing slums in the city. Tens of thousands of people have been displaced and or relocated so far to make way for development projects. Bertila reports.
This is not the first time these slum dwellers are raising their voices. Despite several attempts to gain the government's attention in the demolition issue, everything has been in vain. The protesters even say that the government has a hidden agenda in the eviction drive, and that they also pollute the Kuvam River by letting in untreated sewage.
ஆக இருக்கின்ற மக்களை அகற்றிவிட்டு அங்க வணிக வளங்கள் கட்டுவது என்ற விதத்தில் நியாயம். இதுதான் மக்களுக்கான திட்டமா? ஆக இந்த திட்டத்தை உடனடியாக அரசு கைவிட்டுவிட்டு இருக்கின்ற இடத்திலேயே அவர்களுக்கு வீட்டு அடிப்படை வசதிகளை செய்து கொடுத்தாலே கூவம் சுத்தமாகிவிடும். இன்றைக்கு கூவத்தை அசுத்தப்படுத்துவது யாரு? குடிநீர் வாரியம், கழிவுநீர் அகற்ற வாரியம் தான் லாரிகளிலே எடுத்து வந்து கொட்டுகிறார்கள்.
The protesters say they are not against development and demand proper rehabilitation. They also say the government is using illegal methods to evict them from their homes.
கேஸ் போட்டு கேஸ் வந்து எங்களுக்கு சாதகமாச்சு. அவங்கள போர் ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணி எடுக்க கூடாது. போர் ஜட்ஜ் பண்ணி கேஸ் கைக்கு வந்த பிறகு அப்பீல் மாவட்ட வந்து கேஸ் கட்டி எங்களுக்கு கையிலுக்கு வந்துடுச்சு. வந்துட்டு அவங்கள அகற்ற கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டாங்க கோர்ட்ல, ஹைகோர்ட்ல. சொன்னது அப்புறம் இந்த திமுக அரசு அவங்க குண்டர்களை வச்சு போலீஸ் அதிகாரத்தை வச்சு வந்து பக்கியை வச்சு இடிச்சுன்னுக்குறாங்க.
Though these people have been given alternative housing facilities in places like Simanjeri, Kannaginagar and Thuraipakam, these facilities are unsafe and crime prone.
அங்க வந்து தாதாங்களுக்கு தான் உரிமை அங்க. ஆமா அவங்களுக்கு தான் உரிமை. அவங்களுக்கு எப்படி அந்த கரண்ட் போகுதுன்னு தெரியல. எங்க கிட்ட மாசம் துட்டு வாங்குறாங்க. ஏதோ நாங்க இருட்டுல இருக்கிறதுனால மாசம் ஏதோ அப்படியே கொடுத்து போட்டுனுக்குறோம். பக்கா நாங்க கலைஞர் தொகுதிமா. நாங்க பிறந்து வாழ்ந்ததுல எல்லாம் நாங்க ஏன் எங்களுக்கு ஊடு குத்தன்றாரு, என்னத்த ஊடு கொடுக்குறாரு. ஆபீசருங்க கண்டுக்கல. அது இவர் எடுக்கலாம் இல்லம்மா அந்த ஆபீசருங்களை பத்தி. அதை பத்தி இவர் எதுவுமே கண்டுக்க மாட்டேன்றாரு.
Chennai is certainly an expanding city, but does the expansion ensure the safety and upholds the rights of all its citizens? With camera person Pradeep and Bertila, this is Sanya Faruqi for Ndtv-Hindu.
Well, let's bring you some news from the world of business on our special segment, Business Line. Well, a dull day in the market as the benchmark indices ended absolutely flat after being stuck in a tight range for the entire day. Shakti, such a tight range for the entire day, what does this indicate?
It probably means that either market men have already gone on a holiday, summer holiday, or they're probably booking their tickets, because today was just painfully dull, absolutely nothing on the Nifty. But on a serious note, it's been a trait of this market. You get one or two big moves every month. Otherwise, on an average day, there's absolutely nothing. And today, unfortunately, was one of those days where the Nifty did absolutely nothing. Nifty intraday, a slightly higher opening, but then we shouldn't be talking about it. Just a 35-point intraday range from the high to the lowest point. And it looks a bit choppy, but that was limited to a 30-35 point range. Nifty finally ending just 10-15 points higher. What went up? Rate sensitives. For the second day running, you had the same names going higher. Realty Pack, that was the top gainer today. Some of these names are gaining about 3 to 4% in trade. And the second pack which gained more than 1% was the banking pack. Yesterday it was the turn up of PSU banks. Today it was private sector banks. 4-5% gains here. Axis Bank, big 5% move. It closed at a new 52-week high. Today just 3% below its lifetime highs. But the real excitement in the market was not in the Nifty, not in the large caps, but here. Now the top two names you probably not many of our viewers would have ever heard of. They went up 20%. Cambridge Solutions, Brand House Retail, slightly bigger names. They gained 18-19%, and the small cap index was actually up 1.5% on a day when the Sensex and the Nifty did absolutely nothing. Now, On Monday, we got a bit of a hint that maybe this market will give a big move either ways. That hasn't happened for the last 2 days. The momentum, the volatility in the market is tapering off. So for tomorrow, day after, for the sake of day traders, this market has to give some movement, because today you almost heard day traders sleeping, because you could almost hear the snoring.
Well, the financial year 2009-2010 saw TVS Motor increase profits and demonstrate its technological prowess by launching first-of-its-kind products in the Indian two-wheeler industry. The company seemed to do a good progress. Here is a preview of how the company performed during the last financial year. TVS registered a growth of 13.3% in sales, with overall two-wheeler sales growing from 13.4 lakh units in the previous financial year to 15.2 lakh units this year. The sale of scooters grew at 19.7% from 2.59 lakh units in the previous year to 3.1 lakh units in the current fiscal. The net profit also doubled from 14.6 crore rupees to 36 crores this year. Well, and the superstar breaks a big something about Ndiran. Stay tuned to find out.